Oh, hello, and welcome to Tea with the Queen. I'm Shelley Thomas, the Story Queen, and I have some very special guests today. We have Roald Dahl, and of course the famous J.K. Rowling. Would you care for some more tea, Roll? No? J.K.? Alright, very well, we'll go on. So, we meet from time to time, we are awfully tight, to talk about things that authors might talk about, like how one who might be, say, a picture book author might then switch genres to be writing middle grade. So, we'll start with you. Roald, how do you feel about that? J.K.? Comments? No. Alright, so I'll start. But first, before I go any further, I'm sorry, I just have to take the queen stuff off. You see, as much as I love being the story queen, this is kind of like my armor. And I put it on when I have to do like scary things like talk to a lot of people or, I don't know, make a vlog or something. But now I just want to talk to you author to author, person to person. So I write picture books, and let me say this first off, I still love picture books. But one of the things that drew me first to being a picture book author wasn't necessarily picture books as much as storybooks. Remember storybooks? They were like beautifully done works of art with beautifully woven words creating these amazing stories in them. They don't publish a lot of these kinds of things anymore because they're long. So picture book stories tend to be short, like less than 1,000 words, like less than 750 is better, like 500 or less really is what they like. And I discovered that I had maybe some stories to tell that were a little bit longer, and I needed to trust that voice inside. So there's some things that I did along my path to kind of make that switch, and I'm going to share those things with you now because they are quite magical. Alright, the first thing that I do is I keep an idea page in any of the notebooks that I'm writing in. Now, most of the time I write in one of those black and white speckled composition books because A, they're cheap, and B, they don't have a spiral binding that sticks on your clothes or whatever. But sometimes I splurge and get some of these. I don't really know how to say them. In my brain I always say moleskin, but I know it's not moleskin. It's probably like moleskine or something like that. But anyway, I call them the fancy notebook. The first page of the fancy notebook is dedicated to ideas. And so I'll list my ideas down of stuff that I have. And I'll have an area for what I think would be a really good picture book idea, and an area for maybe what a chapter book idea, or then for maybe middle grade, and I just list them because I forget stuff. So if I don't have it in the beginning, I can't find it again if I decide that that's something that I want to write. And I have to realize that sometimes what I think might be a picture book idea might end up being a chapter book, might end up being a middle grade novel. So, but just kind of keeping where I think that idea might be kind of helps out a lot. So I do highly recommend, it can be fancy if you like, but keeping in your notebook an idea page to honor all of the ideas that might come. And now Okay, Okay, see him here? This is my little Indiana Jones, and he is my little internal editor. And remember what he said about picture books, manuscripts being like 500 to 1,000 words? Well, that's how I wrote my middle grade novel, was in spurts of about 500, sometimes even 250 to 1,000 words. And you might think that you can't write a book in such tiny spurts that ends up being 250 pages long, but you can. You just have to tell him, be quiet. Sometimes you can't tinker too much. And as picture book authors, I'm a tinkerer. I think it was Mark Twain who said that the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug, or something like that. Sorry if I didn't get it right. Anyway, you know, you tinker and you can know right away in your first few hours of working on a picture book if you're going down the right path or not. You can't know that with a middle grade book all the way within 1,000 words, within 250 words. You just have to trust. You just have to go and you have to realize, I can write this in little snippets and little scenes and things that I'm comfortable with, and then go back and read it as a full, long manuscript and see what you need to do to it then. You just have to make sure that this little guy is kind of quiet and puts his whip away. There. Don't judge. All right, next.
Okay.
Ooh.
Amazing Yoda is.
I had to put some Yoda speak in there. Anyway, coolest McDonald's toy ever. Look, he uses the Force Serious. This is the part where you have to really use, like, your what if. I call this the manifesto. And any longer piece that I'm working with, I'm going to put Yoda over here. Any longer piece that you're working with in writing, or that I'm working with, I make a manifesto. And the manifesto is the place where I just play around and I ask a lot of what if questions. What if I had a character that did this? What if the setting took place here? What if I wrote it in third person? Ooh, what if I wrote it in first person? And I just kind of play with that longer idea a lot, because I have to tell you, when I first started thinking about writing something longer, it really scared me. I knew there was a story I wanted to tell, and I knew I couldn't do it in picture book format. I knew it had to be longer, and I wasn't sure how to do that. So I played in this manifesto. And, I mean, I could ask questions like, well, what if you had, like, a little bit of Arthurian legend mixed with Beowulf, mixed with some Shakespeare and a shape-shifting otter? What if you had those things? So what if you have those things in a novel? What might that look like? And I allowed myself to play a lot. My other little trick is I always write the first lines of the novel inside the manifesto, so it's not like I'm really starting a new document, which can be really, really scary. It's just part of, what if the book started like this? And often the book does end up starting. So those of you out there who are picture book writers like me and have a story inside of them that wants to be told, that's longer. Don't be afraid of it. You can do it. I mean, you have the Queen's... Wait. You have the Queen's permission. You must. It is an order, a demand from your Queen. You must follow the ideas wherever they lead. Yeah. That's pretty much it.